been a couple weeks since I did a live. It feels like forever when I don't do lives. I get this sweaty palms, nervousness, and it's like I'm going on stage for 1,000 people. And because I do my lives without a script, with no true plan until I sit down, I never know what is going to come out, what is just going to move through me until it comes out. So live streams are very real, very raw. And I used to do them all the time. But as my career progresses, as my life changes, being an ebb and flow of everything, I've learned to just kind of go with it. So when I feel it, I do it. And when I don't feel it, I don't do it. That's part of the fuck yes, the fuck no, the recognition of intuition and what is in alignment and what is not in alignment. And even though I thoroughly have learned to love doing live streams, and just like I love writing, and I do, writing almost every single day, but live streams, well, I bounce around on it. Much like that, though, is relationship in general, because relationship, good, true, raw, real, loving, that relationship that just thrives happens when we really tap into what is right for us, what is in alignment to us. And it's been, I have known my partner for a few years. We started out as friends. We started out in a relationship that was not an intimate fashion. And a week ago, I wrote an article about, how we missed each other over the last, 15 years. Because we actually lived literally a rock throwing distance from each other up in the state of Washington a couple times over. And it's just amazing to me how we lived right there, just a block away from each other sometimes. We visited the same coffee shops. We went to the same grocery stores. We were right there together. The chances of us potentially have been standing in line together or bumping into each other really is pretty enormous. And yet, to our remembrance, we never did. We missed each other. And then fast forward, here we are, both of us in Texas, in Dallas, because Texas is a big state. And here we are in North Texas, in Dallas area. And universe, God, brings us together in a nonchalant way. And guess what? We miss each other yet again, because both of us in those moments were going through some really heavy stuff in our lives with breakups and heart losses and, just really struggling and armored up. And it's so funny because he remembers me, of course, but I don't remember him. But the connection, it didn't connect. We did not connect. We connected for a brief moment, but that was that. And then some time went. And then we both, in that time frame, we deep dove. We started to communicate with ourselves. We started to really want to understand ourselves, to heal those wounds. And alone, in our own, right? But then we come back together. And this time, it's coming together as, a non-intimate relationship. So being able to witness each other, our lives, our thoughts, our feelings, our wounds, our crap, and our beauty, not from an intimate sense, but just from that witnessing, that getting to know, that appreciation. And there was so much communication, some good, some bad, that was built in that time frame. My rose here is just popping out of my ear. I picked it because I was like, I'm going to be different today. And it smells so good. But we came together and, we enjoyed each other. And we knew that we enjoyed each other. And of course, that made it where we, wanted to spend more and more time together, wanted to inquire more, wanted to get to know each other more. And I think that on the friend side, we really were looking at it as, just a really great friendship, somebody that you just want to take in, and that you feel this connection to, and you don't know where it is going. You have thoughts of like, could it be? Maybe. Nah, probably not, because we're so tainted from our past. And that's really where I'm going with this live stream, is the tainting of our past and how that causes communication issues. And yet, when two come together and really focus in on connection, love, wanting to know truth, wanting transparency, wanting integrity, that what that does is it creates this space for true, authentic communication to happen. And I don't see a lot of that going on in our world. I don't see a lot of that deep, real, authentic communicating happening at any level of a relationship. Over the course of almost 2 decades now, I've worked with so many individuals looking for love, looking for the one, looking for this depth in connection, not wanting surface, but not willing to give anything more than surface relating. Thinking that their, hey, how's your day going, is a deep question. Or, hey, what's your favorite musical, artists out there? Do you like Italian food? Do you like change that? Those are not deep questions. Those are not box checking questions. Okay. Those are just surface. They're things that, and a lot of the times we really just kind of skirt around our depth because we're afraid to reveal it. And the thing that I've learned over the course of the now going on 9 months in relationship with my man is that, I've experienced some freaking amazing relationships. And some of them were amazing for the pain that they brought in. Some of them were amazing for the beauty that they brought in. Some were amazing for so many different reasons. And the ones that really stick out were either based in pleasure or pain, but none of them fully satisfied my soul until now. And the reason for that really truly comes down, I'm a big time self-analyzer as well as people watcher. I mean, that kind of goes with the flow of being a coach, mentor, right? Speaker, author type thing. I'm big into what makes us humans tick. But when I do the self-analyzation and I look at that stuff over the course of time, I go, what's the missing piece that I've not really ever had? And I have friends and my children through the course of time would say on this next sentence, I'm going to tell you, like, yeah, that's what she's always said. I've never felt seen. I've never felt truly accepted and seen in a relationship before, in an intimate relationship before. There's always been pieces of me that I've had to hide, or I've had to create and make me in order to uphold the relationship, in order to keep it, in order to satisfy the relationship. I had to either create new aspects of myself or give up aspects of myself. And none of that's positive. Now, there is a coming together in partnership that we have to look and say, hey, what is good here and what is not good here, right? Because we can't be, if we're in a monogamous relationship and we're wanting commitment and we're wanting truth and we're wanting honesty and trust and we want that rock solidness, well, you can't run around and act like the first year out of mom and dad's house when you're partying and you're messing around with all these different people and you're exploring your sex and you're exploring relationship and you're exploring God knows what, right? Because that does not, the puzzle pieces don't go together with a solid, committed, rock solid, loving, trustworthy, monogamous relationship, right? Just doesn't go. Well, that makes sense. But does that mean that you're giving up a piece of yourself because you're now not party central? No, it means that you are becoming emotionally, relationship, sexually, psychologically mature, able to handle a big boy, a big girl partnership, because that's what partnership is. It's having each other's back. It's realizing that you have to come together and be emotionally mature on things, right? So, looking back, let's go back to here we come back together, right? So we come together, we start witnessing each other, and we have these communications that we realize and that we don't realize, because we're always communicating as human beings. We're always seeing each other. And I didn't realize how much he was seeing me through the course of the last going on 4 years. I didn't realize how much he was actually witnessing me. I was witnessing him and he was witnessing me, but I didn't realize the level, the depth, and how much he was holding it and watching for those subtleties, for the patterns. Well, here we are, almost 9 months in, right? We're almost full term if we were pregnant. Not pregnant. Not happening. But almost full term here, you could say. Coming through our first year of couplehood, of commitment. And what I've learned over the course of the last 9 months is that the 3 years before and the few years prior to that, when he caught some of my live streams and read some of my articles, all that, plus everything from the past, beautiful white butterfly. Side note here, do you know what white butterflies mean spiritually? Spiritually, white butterflies, when you see them, they are a symbol of deceased loved ones coming to visit to let you know that they are watching over you, caring for you, blessing your life. My mother passed away in January, and it's definitely been, I've had lots of little white butterflies bouncing around this summer and spring, so it just kind of makes me feel like, hey, Mom's checking in with me. So, all right. So over the last, back to witnessing in history, okay, and where the communication piece comes in, and how what I'm really truly trying to get in the midst of this big long tail, is that over time, this, even like what I've noticed since even going back into high school, what was that? Going on 30 years, right? On 30 years ago, high school, all that stuff that's come in. And I look at this sometimes beautiful, sometimes edgy, sometimes, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Some of it's shameful. Not because the world's put shame on me, but because I feel shame around it, right? Where I feel like I've tainted myself with my past. And over the course of this last 9 months, what I have witnessed is like this karmic expression of everything before, making itself known and saying, clean me up. Clean me up. It's time to get really right, really real, really transparent, really deep. Do the damn things that you've been pushing off that you didn't even know that you were pushing off. And it's funny how our souls, and especially what soulmate relationships do for us, and I've read in so many different things and done all this study, and I think all of us want that twin flame, that soulmate relationship, right? The one, the dynamic. And we think about it in the passion and the love and the depth and we parallel each other so much. And yes, to all of that. Yes. But what's hardly ever really focused on is how fucking triggering soulmate relationships are. How they push us to purify our souls, to really get right with our core, and to adjust what is not fitting, to look and say, hey, yeah, I was hiding that aspect of myself over there because, this in my life, in my relationships, didn't allow it to be seen. And that hid a piece of me from the world. And I couldn't lean in and trust and love in a relationship because I was hiding that. So I was armoring myself to a degree by hiding. And in a soulmate relationship, you're requested to let it out, to be every piece of you. And then on the flip side, what is also going on is that there's these pieces of ourselves that we create as we grow in life, as we experience life. We create aspects of ourselves to fit in more, to make past partners happy. And then we do it for so long that it becomes who we are, right? And then all of a sudden we're like, is that me? Isn't it me? I don't know. I did it here. So it must be me. But when we really lean in on some of that shit, we realize that's not me. That doesn't make me happy. That isn't satisfying. That actually makes me want to hide from myself. I have to hide. I have to armor. I have to guard myself in order to be that. I have to guard myself to be that it's actually some sort of emotional, energetic, mental portrayal that is armor in itself, so that we fit in and feel safe and secure in the life that we are painting for ourselves, that we are trying to create, because we're all looking for one thing, which is happiness, and we have these things that we believe will help us get happiness. So what are we looking for? We're looking for love. We're looking for a better sex life. We're looking for money. We're looking for this kind of body. We're looking for this kind of partner. We're looking for a house, a location, this, 2.5 children. That's kind of funny to me with 7 kids. 2.5 children, no, is the average, right? 2.5 children. We're looking for all these different things that we deem as the check boxes to achieve happiness. And what we don't realize is that happiness can only be achieved in us, and we can only really truly experience it and feel fulfilled in life and feel the love that we're looking for in life, and actually call in, and not just sometimes because we call in the soulmate, but then are we overly triggered by the soulmate to the point that we're not willing to make these changes because we're like, no, I did that for the last 10 years of my life, and I'm going to proclaim that that's me, even though I feel a little off base about it, even though I'm not going to really dig in there and ask myself, is this truly me? And I'm being triggered here, so that must not be my soulmate, because she can't accept that, won't accept that, is asking me about it, inquiring about it, wants to communicate about it in ways that I've never communicated on these subjects before. Therefore, since I'm feeling triggered, I'm feeling, whoa, this is scary ground here. I don't know if it's safe to really deep dive into me and do that work, that I'm going to go, hasta la vista to you who just pushed me. to grow, to question, to inquire. But I can tell you what, a soulmate relationship is going to do just that. It's going to demand of you, require of you to communicate not only with that other person, but even more so with your soul, with who you really are, and to really truly get in alignment with that, and to look at everything from this current present moment to everything in your past, the good, the bad, the things that you hid, the things that you became because of ABC. And it's going to ask of you, what do you really want for your future? What does relationship really mean to you? Why do you really do relationship? What are you really hoping to gain from relationship? What are you really wanting, or what do you perceive as a partnership? And I'm not talking about business partnership here. I'm talking about soul connection partnership. Okay? Where there is really truly nothing that can pull it apart. Okay? That's what partnership is. It's a rock solidness. That's what soulmate relationships going to bring forth in you. And if you think that, hey, soulmate relationship means they're going to accept me just as I am right here today, and I don't have to do a damn thing. I don't have to change. They don't have to change. We're just going to come together. It's going to be a match made in heaven, all organic chocolate, wine and roses, rainbows, and pixie dust all the time. Well, you're blowing smoke up your own rear on that one, because soulmate relationships will do the exact opposite. They will push you to expand within yourself and inquire within yourself and get to know yourself at levels that you never even thought about. Okay? So, really look at that. Communication, though, is vital in any relationship. Whether you deem your relationship as a soulmate or not, if you're just like, hey, I'm just dating this person, or if you're looking at your kids or your friends, your siblings, your parents, business relationships, of course, communication is the number one thing that so many of us are scared of, is the number one thing that so many of us avoid at all cost, and it is absolutely the number one thing that will either break a relationship apart or pull a relationship together. Okay? So that's the key. You want a better sex life? Communicate. You want more money in your world? Communicate. You want better health? Communication's there. It's communication with self, with source, and then with anything outside of those two. And it's really being transparent about who you are and where you want to go and what you want in life, and really looking back at your past and asking yourself, how much of my past am I in alignment with? Am I fighting? Am I actually fighting for pieces of myself that I created to fit in, to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to do whatever it was that you were doing, but it's not really you, or it's not in alignment to who you are right now? Because when you're in a real true love-based relationship like what I'm talking about, what you're going to find is that is the piece that will be required for you to do that work. So, okay, let me see. Somebody made a comment here. Talking about coronavirus, the point you need your phone back. Huh? Sorry, not talking about coronavirus. Don't really care about coronavirus. Definitely not my conversation at all. So, sorry, off topic. Not even going to deal with that. Outside of don't really care. On that note, you're going to see coming out some beautiful groups that I will be putting out later this week. And there's some, if you are local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I have 2 more workshops for the summer lined up. I have my Tantric Quantum Field workshop, which is all teaching about energetics, It's, all about the quantum world. It taps into some absolutely dynamic healing tools. And then in August, I have a vagus nerve training coming up, which is another embodiment workshop where we learn how to really access the vagus nerve, really create stability inside of self, and remove trauma from the physical, mental, and emotional level through activating, healing the vagus nerve. So definitely look for those. They're on my business page here on Facebook. They're also on my website at www.kendallwilliams.com. And as always, remember that you're worthy of a dynamic relationship. Remember that you are worthy of calling in your soulmate, your love. And if you want a little help, you're like, hey, you make some good points. I like your articles. I like the things that you're putting out there. I just need that, some 1, 2, 3, some guidance. I need your eyes on my life, on my relationship. Give me what you see, Kendall, to help me really access that love and to do the deep healing work, the uniting with self so that I can call in that soulmate or know if this person that I'm with is my soulmate. Well, if that's you and you're looking for that, reach out to me. I'm doing some free clarity calls over the course of summer to help you activate your soulmate relationship. I love you guys. Remember, you are worthy. Stop existing, start living, and I'll catch you another day with another